All right, hello and hello and welcome everyone to RPGeo. This is a channel where I like to explore indoors playing MMORPGs. Today, oh man, God, I hate starting these things. It always feels because I'm just looking at a computer screen right now, and nobody's here, and so it feels very weird. But today we're going to be playing Project Gorgon. It's a fairly new MMO still. It's been out, I think, for a couple months now, and I'll get more into it, my impressions on it, especially when I first started. But I'm enjoying it a lot, and anytime I try out a new MMO, I keep wanting to come back to this one, and so that's nice right now. It's nice to have an MMO that I feel like, if you saw my recent video, I had a video come out talking about how to find your MMO home, and right now this one's it for me. And so it's nice to have that game, that MMO that you don't, it's always fun starting a new one and having that first initial honeymoon phase, but with this one right here especially, it's been nice knowing, like, whenever I don't know what to play or what do, I can hop in here, and there's just so much great stuff about it. The other thing I want to do is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, is do a starting zone tier list, but not a regular starting zone tier list. It's a starting zone tier list that's going to take 3 different MMOs, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, and Lord of the Rings Online, just picking those based on population numbers, whereas, we're going with classic WoW, biggest MMO of all time, and then Guild Wars 2, which is, relatively always been, successful, and then something like Lord of the Rings Online, who's always been around, but it's got lower population numbers. And we're going to go through 4 zones from each of those, and we're going to decide whether being more popular means better MMO. To help dispel a myth that I have, or that I believe is true, that population numbers lie, in the sense of people a lot of times just try to go to the MMOs that have the most numbers, yada yada yada, and let's look at these other MMOs and see if they actually are good, if the quality of them is good, and the problem with them is only population numbers, which I believe shouldn't be a factor when you only need 40 people to do a raid. You can be more active with, it can feel more active with 300 players than it could with thousands of players. I mean, you look at something like, we're going to rant for a second. You look at something like World of Warcraft, where like server cap is what, like 6,000 or something like that. Your faction will have, like, I don't even know. Let's look up real quick. What is the server cap of server cap for classic WoW servers? It's about 3,500. So yeah, so about 3,500 is what this is saying right here. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. That's what ChatGPT is telling me, or Gemini. So we're going to go with this number. Roughly 2,500 to 3,500 is what it was back in the day. And so what that tells me is that when you're playing an MMO like Lord of the Rings Online, who has, like, 1,200. Let's look at let's look at the Steam charts for Lord of the Rings Online. Peak players, it stays roughly around 2,000, going up, sometimes dipping down, but around 2,000. So its player base is consistent with what a WoW server would be. So why does it matter that they have 20 other servers with the same amount of players? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're going to be playing with the same amount of people, so it's still going to be relatively less, but like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And these are just the Steam numbers alone. Like, it's not even going into the people that just do it on the client side. So I think that it's kind of ridiculous that people are like, Lord of the Rings is dead, or this game is dead, or that game's bad because nobody plays it. Like, who gives a shit, man? If it's the game for you, it's the game for you, man. Stop worrying about whether it's, the most populated one or not, because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But anyways, so let's go ahead and we're going to play a little bit of Project Gorgon, man. I am absolutely loving this game right now. And it's again, like I said, it's nice. So we'll probably just run around. Today, what I want to do, just kind of keep it simple so I can actually try to stream and talk about, so I can actually pay attention and talk, without having to focus so much on what I'm doing. We're going to actually, just try to see if we can do the main story quest. See how that is in this game. Which there's a few things I want to highlight in this game, man. There's so much cool stuff in this game, but I mean, my initial reactions to playing this game are the same initial reactions you guys are having right now. It looks like shit. Now, that's a bit rough to say. I don't think it actually looks like shit. It looks fine. It's okay, you know, and it's gonna be okay because the gameplay features around it are amazing. This is something that I've wanted for a long time. Is that, you know, I finally gave up on graphics because who gives a shit about graphics, you know? A lot of people, obviously, they are important, but I care more about gameplay features and the minute-to-minute gameplay that's happening. And this game has, like, everything. And I would almost rather sacrifice graphics for good gameplay. You have these games like New World, which was fine, where it was a great, nice-looking game, or you have these new games. They just spend so much time and resources on making the game look good that they just can't invest the time into these features. And you take a game like Old School RuneScape, where, like, bare bones, it's a pretty simple looking game, or even World of Warcraft, you know, not crazy visual graphics, but they're able to put in these features in like something like RuneScape that just makes they're able to build on these layers and layers and layers to make this such a depth within the game. And I would rather have that. And that's what I feel like this game is where it sacrifices graphics, it makes up wholeheartedly in content. Look at this right here. This right here is a list of skills that I have. This is for people that haven't played the game. There's a lot of people that's played this game and played a lot more of it than I have. But look at this list of skills right here. Every single one of these skills that you see here are ones that I've discovered while playing the game. It's not like RuneScape where you just have the list of them. You discover them by playing the game, which is, again, that's really cool, and it adds to explorability, which is super fun. The other thing is this isn't the full list. There's so many out here that I still haven't found. There's ones that I should find so I can level those up before I proceed to the next thing, you know? Before I go to higher levels and everything. There's so many like cool things. It's just something as simple as like the way the mounts are in this game. It's not anything crazy. It's not as good as Guild Wars 2, but it's more than something like WoW. Where like, you know, I pull up my mount. Number one, it's instant, which is thank God. But you start off at a slow trot, but then you can level up your mount. Like you can level up your mount, and I think Elder Scrolls Online and just increase its stats, but it doesn't actively do anything. And this is kind of like the middle of the road between the two. Which again, you're getting it. Look at this game. And this game is doing it better than World of Warcraft, doing it better than Elder Scrolls Online. And you know, in some ways, I would say it's doing better than Guild Wars 2, just because there's like actual like mechanics, not mechanics, but there's things to it. Like there's a skill tree there's skills that you level up and everything. It just makes it more fun and feel like you're more invested. There's more of a progression to it. But yeah, so you start off at a slow trot, you hit this button, and it speeds up your initial, it gives you increased acceleration. Then you got increased, but then you got your mount anxiety. He's getting stressed out. And then you can, you know, calm him down, and it's just, if you get around other stuff, you get in water, you get around enemies, it's gonna get stressed out, and it's gonna disappear. And it's just, it's like quality of life built in with fun added gameplay. And that's what I really love about it. And that's just taking something just as simple as using a mount. And this game is just layered on with more stuff like that. One thing I'll say about this game just right out the gate is questing isn't great. But it's fine. It's... Let's see. So when I started playing this game, my initial thoughts were, this game sucks. I hate it. And I'm confused, and I don't know what to do, and I'm tired of trying to play these old school MMOs like Monsters and Memories or any of those that we want to be old EverQuest, and it's just confusing. It's like, I can't play this game, man. Like, I played WoW. I never played EverQuest, so I don't get those games. That's a little before my time, and I'm 36 years old. So, like, I just don't see anybody else being interested in those games. I mean, there's a market for it, sure. But anyways, I gave it some time, and this is something, if you watch my, I don't try to plug my video, filthy plug, is if you watch my video talking about MMO how to find your MMO home. One of the things is take the time to play the game. A lot of people say, oh, if you play a game for an hour and you don't enjoy it, the game sucks. Shut up. What a stupid thing to say. Like, every time you play a new game, and this is something I think people have it's something that people have found out with Crimson Desert. Is Crimson Desert's control system is not set up as the default that the industry standard is set to right now. It's not that, and so you have to learn how to play the game. And you're like, this game is really good. I want to learn how to play it. These older games are like that. It's not set up. It's not as simple as, again, some things need to be their default standard. But when you're adding new features and new sort of like gameplay types of things, just take the time to learn it. And an hour is not going to be enough time. Really get into the game, understand the gameplay loop. I played this game for hours, not understand what the fuck I was doing, but every bit that I started to learn just from playing the game made me enjoy it more, anchored it more into me that I enjoyed this. And then finally I got out, and I have this whole game to explore and just learn. And it's so enjoyable. Like, I've been in 3 zones the whole time I've played this game, not counting the starting island. And I've enjoyed my time in it so much, and I have so much more to go and check out. And I want to go and kind of check some of that stuff out today, because I just found out that there's some areas. The Dream Portal, I've just decided not to go there. I figured out what that is. I looked it up. And then there's another one where if you go over here to the docks, you can go to this place called Sunvale. I think it's this area right here, right? Yeah, the docks, and you can go to Sunvale. And there's another zone that I could be doing that I'm not doing because I just assumed it was out of my range. I haven't worried about it because I have 3 zones that I'm enjoying right now. But yeah, that initial experience was bad, and I took a page out of my own book of like, just give it some time and test it out, because at the time I was theory crafting the idea of what that video would be. And I knew one of them was give the game some time before you sit here and write it off. And because I did that, I found a game that I extremely enjoy, which is, it's anecdotal, but that's proof. The proof is in the pudding, is that I love this shitty looking game that is confusing as hell when you start it. I very much enjoyed this game more than almost any of it. There's got to be a wall I'm going to hit eventually where I'm like, this sucks, it's too grindy, whatever. It's very much like RuneScape, where a lot of it's just leveling up skills. But I mean, even as something as simple, and I'm just ranting. I'm not even playing the game right now. But something as simple as leveling up your farming in this game is very enjoyable, because not only can you do, I think it's gardening maybe, not only can you garden and level that up, you could be like I'm a bard, but you don't have to be a bard to be able to do this. I can change my skills over here to stringed instrument. And so while I'm gardening, I could be sitting here playing my lute. Just playing my lute. And what that's doing is that is increasing my instrument level. And then on top of that, it's giving out a buff for everybody that's listening. Right now, you're appreciating a live performance. So I'm getting buff that's giving me extra experience and stuff. And here's what it is. I'm earning extra combat experience. So you want to have these things. So I can be out there gardening, leveling up my gardening, leveling up my instruments, and giving buffs to myself and other people. It's like actively being AFK. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so satisfying. It's like when you play WoW and you do like 20 quests and you turn them in all at once. It's like doing that, but you're not just progressing a skill, an experience bar. You're progressing. I mean, essentially you're progressing multiple skill bars, but I mean, and everything compiles on each other. You're gonna get to points where you're like, I wish I had this leveled up, and then because you did this thing before, now this is leveled. It's just, I don't know, man. It's so great. It's the same things that people I think enjoy about Old School RuneScape. One thing Old School RuneScape has better than this is the story, is the quest. Now, let's talk about favor, because favor is the questing system, right? And so what it is you can go up to anybody. Like the problem is I probably accepted all the favors from this area right here, but let's see a hill here, right? I can do favor. Oh, okay, actually I got one. Oils for arrows. So I picked this up. It gives you like a rough kind of description of what you need to do. And then let's see, I can put it on my tracker. And so the point of let's see if I can track it. Let's see, untrack something. just for the purposes of this stream. So now we got a track. So, oils for arrows. I need to obtain crossing oil. And now this might involve me going and now having to learn how to make this. And what's important about it is no more you get your rewards, but you get favor. And what favor does is whenever you talk to these people, if you want to shop, you know, certain things you require higher favor with them. You can get better prices, better deals and stuff when you're higher favor. And then training. So if you want to be an archer, you're going to want to level up this guy's stuff so that you can get better at fletching and better at archery. You're going to learn, looks like archery abilities. You're going to learn how to make better arrows. And so it's like every single NPC in this game, I can't say every single, but majority of NPCs in this game essentially have their own reputation system built in. And the favors is how you do that. Another cool thing is like you have all these items and stuff, plethora of items. Every single one of them can be given as a gift to someone. Now, I don't have anything that this guy wants as a gift. No, that's not true. He likes, and so what you do is you small talk him. Loves prepared food, loves magical bows. So if I get any bows, give it to this guy. It's going to increase my reputation with him. If I have any food that I make that I want to give to him, bam, give it to him as a gift. It's going to increase our reputation. So that's the grind. That's part of the grind that's within this game. And also you can unlock, you know, the ability to have, it's like a progression system within each NPC. And then by doing this, you learn your NPCs. You learn who they are. Like this lady over here, her name is Mara or Marna. And she's like my go-to vendor that I like to go to because I've leveled her up the highest. And so she usually, like my prices are full price. Like this one's not full price. Actually, oh yeah, no, fuck that. You see what I'm saying? Like you can get pretty much full price for stuff. And then they do have a cash limit, so you got to watch out for that, which is kind of annoying, honestly. But that forces you then to go find other vendors to do other things, which is, I enjoy that. It's like, well, something I really liked in WoW but didn't like in Guild Wars 2 is in WoW, you go to Goldshire and you live in Goldshire, you know Goldshire, you learn that area, right? It feels like a place that you lived in a sense. Guild Wars 2, you don't get that. I've never felt that really in any area that I've ever been to. You just kind of go there, hop around for a second, then you go to the next area. It's not like theme park. It's just, because WoW's more theme park, but it's like a worse version of theme park. Because like you still go to these areas, you check them out and you explore them, and then you're out of there. You leave to the next area, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't get to feel no area feels like I get to live in it. And here, you know, there's a guy named Mushroom Jack over here. I know Mushroom Jack. I've been doing stuff for him. I know who that guy is. I know who Joel is over here. Who the guy like that does the armory stuff. I think he's levels Joe. Sorry, he does like I think he trains you for swords. Oh, and he installs augments like which is kind of like gem slotting. What is his? He doesn't train you in anything. I was a liar. But anyways. You learn your vendors. You learn who these people are. I know that there's Rita and some other bitch over here. In the tavern. Rita and Blanche. Over here hanging out talking about whatever. You know, I know these people. I know it was Fallon Feanor. I know this guy. He's the chef. And I've learned a lot of cooking stuff from him. I know these people. Let's talk about Gimme, I think his name is Jimmy Gisley. This is the what's it called? Stable master, man. Like, you learn these people. You know who these people are. There's another lady named Teresa up here who taught me how to garden. All right? Like, you feel invested. You feel like you learn these people, and you increase your reputation when they become people that you are, that you know, and that's great. And then every little outpost is like that because there's more people. Even here, like, if you look at the map here, there's all these little outcrops of people who will either have quests for you, favors, different benefits to being friends with them, essentially. And so that's essentially the questing system. The problem is the quests aren't that great. It's very simple stuff. However, and there is a however. Actually, there isn't. I've already said the however. It's a good. The favor system's great. The problem is that there's no good deep questing within the game that I found yet, which does kind of suck a bit. Because I'm a bit of an explorer, so this game's scratching all those itches, but I do have some achiever in me, and the achiever in me wants to have good, fun quests to go through. Just the quests don't have to be overly complicated, you know, just something simple, which these are, but like, I don't know, but that's another thing too, man. Let me like, the writing of this game is very, I don't want to say vulgar, because it is vulgar, but it's like silly but real at the same time, which is very nice. Where like people are racist, people do like bang each other. They hate elves. They talk about how elves are whores. There was this necromancer that was raising the dead so he could be a necrophiliac that I was learning about yesterday. Like, it's always, this is where, like, when I talk about it being weird, that's the weird aspect of it. And I enjoy it. I like it. It's interesting and it's fun. And there's like a depth of lore to this world that I'm slowly scratching at the surface of. But anyway, so the main thing I want to do today is, because in all the time that I've spent playing this game, I have yet to do the main story quest. And so today I want to start on that and kind of see what happens with it. And so we may get nowhere because I don't know what I'm doing. But in the process of doing this, you know, I'll slowly try to talk about different things, like the weapon system. Like, you know, you equip 2 different weapons, kind of. It's 2 different skill lines. Like I have animal handling, which this right here is my pet. Oh, that's not my pet. That's not my pet. This is my pet. Trace, she's a cat. Once I get to 40, I can get a bear, and I'm looking forward to that. So it's like being a hunter in WoW. So you got your abilities. You also have more abilities, but you can only slot in so many. And then here, I'm a bard. Let me change this back over to being a bard. These are my bard abilities that I'm using. And so I'm a bard hunter, pretty much. However you want to look at that, whatever you want to call it. And so it's not necessarily multi-classing, but at the same time, it feels like you're multi-classing while also building your own class and stuff like that. Like, it's very, I don't know, it's very fresh and fun. And it's definitely different. You kind of have something like that with ESO, but it feels better here. The combat is pretty bare bones. It's tab targeting. You know, any combat system is only as good as the specific, you know, abilities you're using. I like the bard. Animal handling is meh, but it's nice having an animal that whoops things ass so you can kind of just get through shit. We can get more of that as we go. So yeah, let's try to figure out exactly what we need to do for this quest. Ortania and Etibule has informed about Davos. Now, I've done some of this, so you guys are behind, and I don't remember enough about it to know. I know it started here, and I was trying to learn some secrets about a guy, and then I went to Etibule, learn some stuff. But anyways, try to learn about about Davos' whereabouts, but she won't tell you unless you help her with some errands first. Get that info. Learn. So I'm assuming then I need to do her. Maybe we just need to go find her, because I don't see any favors from her. All right, let's just travel to Etibule and figure out what her errands are. One thing I do very much dislike about this game, I'd say the downside of this game is the graphics. The quests aren't very robust. I don't want to say the questing is bad in this game, because I love the favor system. It's a new system that I've never seen in a game that I wish every game had. So it's hard to say anything bad about it. But I would also like there to be just more in-depth questing. That's not just for the sake of favor and the sake of skilling and stuff like that. Like, I want it to be just a quest line to progress, which seems like it's kind of this one. I don't know. But the other thing is the map. As you see, like, I'm now teleporting to a new map, which you have that in Guild Wars 2 as well, and it can be fine. But the problem with this one is it's very, I don't know, Guild Wars 2 is the same, so it's hard to even say anything about it. But, like, You know, something as simple as like it's just a floating portal. I wish there was like, I don't know. It's again, it's still, it's not any different in Guild Wars 2, but it just doesn't. It feels less immersive. And one thing I didn't mention in my how to find your MMO home video is one thing that's very important when you're looking for your MMO home is to compromise. You're going to have to compromise on things, isn't it? Things aren't going to be perfect. And for me, you know, when I first started playing Guild Wars 2, it was a deal breaker at the time not having an open world. I got over that because I enjoyed the game. Same thing I'm doing here. I enjoy the game, so I'm getting over that. I'm getting over the graphics. I'm getting over, you know, there's not this big epic quest line to do, which, you know, a lot of times in games like World of Warcraft, that's a big downside, actually. You know, it becomes a single player game in a way that's not fun. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a multiplayer RPG. It feels more like a single player game. Like here, like it's still essentially the same. You're doing favors that everybody else is doing, but like you're on your own path. There's so many branching. That's the best way to put it. Where like something like WoW, there's, you know, 5 paths everybody can take. In a game like this, I mean, there's hundreds of paths that you could be taking, you know, with skill lines and stuff like that. Like, I want to be a cheese. I want to make cheese. You see over here, cheese making, tanning, textiles. Like, I learned textiles, which I'm better at that than cheese making. I learned that just so I could make cheese. Let's see. Ortania. Let's see what her chores are. I did it. I did it, everybody. You didn't think I could do it. You've helped me, so I will help you. I've never met Dalvos, but I've gathered some useful tidbits. Did you know he worked for the council? The council, I think, is what's in charge there. Like the gold in this game is called councils. These are councils. Anyway, so an elf from Verda working for the council. So Dalvos is an elf from Verda working for the council. I guess that's news. Dalvos works for the council? No, I said he worked for the council. There's a lot of stuff that just, before we get into it, there's going to be some rated R stuff that's going to happen within these quests. Now, the council is trying to capture him. He has hideouts all over the country, though. When the council gets too close to a hideout, he flees for the next one. Dalvos hid in the tunnels beneath this castle for a while. He's long gone, but he left behind some interesting artifacts. What artifacts did he leave? He was making fairy crystal machine. His workshop was on the 2nd floor of the basement, right past the stairs. We found a bunch of spare parts and half-assembled machines in there. That was before the goblins had fully invaded the place. We can't even reach the 2nd floor now, and the goblins have no doubt stolen all this stuff. I want to say real quick something I was just thinking about. What this reminds me of a lot, it reminds me of like if you take a game like Oblivion and made an MMO out of it, which is not Elder Scrolls Online. This feels more akin to that. What do you think the machine was for? He destroyed most of his notes, but I pieced together enough. He called it a Nexus Agent Matter Aligner, and he used one to teleport somewhere. Before the goblins ransacked the place, there were plenty of spare parts. If we build a new one, you could use it to follow him. What makes you think I'd teleport to the same place? Because I kept one of the components I found in his lab. It's the part that determines the matter stream offset, and it's configured exactly like the one Dalvos used. If you use my part, you'll go where he went. Here's a parts list. If you find these other parts, I'll give you my piece to complete the machine. And you think I'll be able to find all of these in the dungeon below? I think so. The parts look valuable, so I doubt the goblins would have destroyed them. They'll have locked them away. They're greedier than they are savage. Most of the goblins live on the 2nd floor of the dungeon. That's where I'd look. Okay, I'll be back with the parts. Let's see. I gotta find... Is it this one? Okay. I haven't been here yet. I don't believe. Let's see. I have been here. Okay. I think... I don't know if I've actually... I know I've been here. I think... Let's see. There's a switch on the wall. I remember. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, there's nowhere else to go. There's got to be a switch on the wall to open this gate. There it is. All right, let's go ahead and summon our faithful companion. Faithful cat companion, am I right, guys? Okay, this is definitely something we can do, so... see, take all... This is nothing, too. Like, right here, what I'm learning is goblin knees. Translate, see the little goblin knees there. Because there's a goblin guy that I want to talk to, but I still haven't quite learned their language. Which is kind of honestly surprising me because I've leveled it up to like 21. I should be able to talk to a goblin by now, I'd imagine. But I can't. But we'll get there. Anybody watching this, let me know how the audio is. Right now, nobody is. But if somebody does, let me know. Ooh, nice bow. 21 the car. So what exactly are we looking for? Obtain portal attachment mechanism. I'll be honest, man. A lot of times when I'm doing dungeons like this, because I like exploring things, but I like knowing what I need a map. I'm a heavy map guy, and so what I'll do a lot of times is actually have the map of the game pulled up. We're gonna try to avoid that today, just for ease of doing what I'm doing. Let's see. Can't translate this one yet, but we will be able to soon. Goblin poetry. That's another cool thing too, just while I'm looking at it. So I can look at more info here and you can figure out everything. So craft optional ingredients in the following. So it's a greeting in one recipe. It's a gift to these people. And then also, okay, it doesn't say, and then 6 people I haven't met yet. This tells you how much I guess you have. Tells you who you can sell it to, which is important because certain vendors only accept certain things. Tells you if it's for a quest, and then views the appearance of it. So if it was like a piece of gear, you could look at it. So I don't know. Maybe I could read the quest again. Another thing to do in this game is you can take notes. This is my to-do list, things I've been trying to do. Starting main story quest. You can check it out because the game doesn't always... They get to tell you things, but it's not going to keep it like readily available. You'd have to go back and have the conversation again. Which is something I actually really liked in the game I played the other day. Adrenaline, whatever it's called. Also, I'm a guy that likes to run around with his inventory and map out constantly. So what was that quest saying? Okay, so I gotta find these 3 different parts. Just somewhere in the Goblin Dungeon, so who knows how and when I'll find them. Another thing about this game that does suck, man, is that like got a few things. Like the game was heavily populated when I first started it, and now there's barely anybody playing it, which really sucks. And another thing that sucks too is that, like, I believe, from my understanding, it was started by a husband and wife team, and I believe the wife passed away. Which, you know, that in and of itself just sucks, man. I hate to hear that. Like, I couldn't imagine pretty much anything worse happening to somebody. And then, you know, like, this game has so much going for it already, and then so much additional potential that could happen on top. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh, I like that. I might save that so I can use it for what they call glamour. I want to get rid of this helmet, I'll tell you that much. As you see, it makes it look like I'm covered in webs. Which was cool at first, I'll admit. Is that the right chest piece? I don't think so. Where's my chest piece at? Right here. Is that the right one? Doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter. So like I'm excited for all the potential that this game could have, but I'm worried that with it being down to just one guy, I don't know. There might be more people working on it. I'm hoping so, but I'm worried that it's gonna kind of fizzle out. Really hope that doesn't end up being the case. One thing about this game, I don't want to say it's bad, but there definitely is. Inventory management is definitely a thing. I like the way they do storage and stuff in this game. In inventory, it's another thing. Like as you progress skills, you unlock new inventory pieces and stuff like that. But that's why I'm constantly going to my inventory and just clearing stuff out, so that I don't feel like I ever have to stop and go back or anything. Yeah, I imagine there should be some chests in here at some point. Oh boy. I will say, like I think I said it before, the combat's not great. But it's fine. Like I feel like it gets the job done. I think once we finish this quest, I'm gonna try to go and do that tier list. And you know, I'm kind of, I don't want to say nervous about it, but I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't. Could be good, could be bad. That's the chance. But like, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, just it depends on what you're into, and everybody's definitely different. But like, the minute-to-minute gameplay of this, the progression loop, like it's this game's very addicting. Versus like something like Lord of the Rings, I would, you know, on paper I'd rather play Lord of the Rings. I think. Like it doesn't grab me as much as like a game like this does. Battle Bard. I'll take that, but it's not that great. Let's see, go and distill that. I think this is pretty much like disenchanting. That's what that is. But it's kind of good to do this dungeon because again, I'm progressing multiple things here. I'm able to progress my distilling, and I'm able to progress my goblinese, and I'm also in the middle of doing a quest at the same time, and that's just a very satisfying thing to do. Get off of my screen. Then also, I mean, of course, I'm leveling up my different combat abilities, which is like something you're constantly wanting to be doing. One of the things I want to do is I actually need to level up my alchemy because I want to be a battle chemist, which is it's like a golemmancer, it seems like. Let's heal Tracy up before she dies, and Tracy's dead. Let's see if we can clear this out without us dying. I think it might be a little sketchy, we'll see. Nah, I think we got this. Surprised Tracy does. She usually doesn't get overwhelmed like that, but I wasn't really casting any of her abilities, so it really comes on my, oops, my bad. That's my fault. Another thing too, like we were talking about just like interesting little things that they do in this game. I'll show you on the next one. Autopsy and Buried Corpse. So Autopsy is great because it actually levels up the anatomy of various things that you will fight. And like when you first fight something for the first time, you're not going to see their level or know anything about them. But the more you level up their anatomy, you can deal extra damage to them. You're able to see their levels and just all kinds of little extra perks because you know their weak spots and stuff like that, which is again just like a neat little layered system on top of everything else going on. So you literally, with the individual mobs that you'll fight, there's a progression system in it as well. So that's a very cool thing. Because you have a, why was there a big exclamation point on him? What is this? I already know that ability. Could you leave me alone? I need to get Tracy up. I think I should have enough. What are they called? Yeah, I bought a shitload of them because Tracy, it's only like a 25% chance I can res my pet unless I go to a stable master. Translate all this. About to be level 24 here soon. I'm going to call my pet and then res her. Oh, first try. That's nice. Steal this. Can't do it. People attacking me. Get him, Tracy. Steal these down. And translate this. I don't know what said that one. I'm trying to use that one. It is the part to me that kind of gets I mean, it's like that in any MMO though, I guess. Just becomes monotonous. Like I'm starting to get semi-bored. Can't translate that yet. We'll be able to soon though. It'll be real nice once we finish this quest though. Okay, so this takes us back over to this passage that we've already been to, or I have in the past. Uh-oh. It's on cooldown. Fuck him up, Tracy. I need to loot that, but we'll have it. So there's that entry point, how that works. Another thing too about these dungeons, though, public dungeons, I think there are some that are less public dungeon-y, but still public dungeons. So here, like anybody could come in this dungeon and progress to it, which is, it's good and it's bad at the same time, because a lot of times it turns into you going to a boss room and waiting for them to spawn. The good news is, in this game, you don't get kill credit for stuff that other people tag first, but bosses, everybody, I believe, that contributed will still have their own personal loot and stuff. So it's like kind of the best of both worlds in that situation. Like if you're gonna have, you know, tagging mobs, at least on bosses, you don't have that, which is nice. But I do like getting a group together and going and doing a dungeon. The good thing about it in here though is that at least we can translate these. Striking enemy twice with your staff, so I just got a staff ability from learning Goblinese. The good thing about it is like you do just go in these dungeons, and other people a lot of times will be in here, and you make some friends as you're running around and stuff like that, which is very nice. I mean, the same thing as like playing classic WoW and just going out questing. Just run into people in the same area doing the same quest, and just start helping one another. Very much the same sort of feeling. But I do like, getting grouped together, going and doing a dungeon. But there is one that I found where you need, I think, 4 other people to help you open the door. Like it's too heavy for you to open it, kind of thing. What is this? I already know that. Let's just drop that. I don't want to carry that around. So it does seem like there is like more like group focused kind of stuff to do as well, which is nice. Oh, that's just saying that. I guess that got their attention. Fuck them up, Tracy. think initially when I started playing this game, I was doing I'm at let's see. I want to let me view it. I can't even remember what I was gonna say now. No, that looks like shit too. Yeah, where's these things that I'm looking for? We're gonna do it, boys. We're gonna pull up. Let's see, what is this place called? Goblin Dungeon. See if we can figure out where we need to go. So this little 20 to 40 area. Is this the one that I did? Okay, so we're about to hit a chest here, or is there a chest in here? Okay, I'm not where I think I am. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if the loot that I'm looking for is off of bosses or what. Or if I get them out of the chests. See, like the respawn rate. Look at that respawn rate, man. You just want to have you a group doing this shit so you don't have to just keep farming through all these people. That's why I got Tracy. I just play my AoE and let her just fight them down. Get him away, Tracy. Went the wrong way, so Tracy, attack. Save me, Tracy. Just keep AoEing them down, boys. I need to go. There's a lot of stuff in these games that really makes me want to play more is just exploring stuff. So I kind of want to just go to the desert area and explore that more. Found that the desert area that you can get is actually a different version of the desert area. It's actually a phantom version, like a dream version of which it makes sense because I think it says Dream Portal on it. Not really sure why they have it set up that way though. I want to take you guys to the casino too because the casino is cool as hell. Oh shit, I meant to pick all that up. Yeah, I mean that's another good thing too about like having, you know, various like things like being able to distill stuff down because like it just helps you manage your inventory a little bit better too. Ah, hit the wrong button. So here. Up and to my left. Yeah, there's some sort of a secret passage over here. Tracy's taking damage. Chill out, Tracy. Drop some of these. I didn't mean to pick them up in the first place. That one I'll hang on to. Can I translate it now? Yeah. Alright, so there's a... There it is. Oh my god, there's a spider. Tracy, where you at? Whatever, Tracy, I don't need you. Handle these huntsman spiders on my own. I don't know what that is. That's the thing too, is like you see certain things. If you don't know they are, you kind of just want to grab them just in case. Because they might be something good. What does this look like? Ooh, that's a cool helmet. I'll hang on to that. Speaking of which, let's go and move this piece over here too. So we have them. Which I don't think those two are going to look good together, but you know, better than nothing. So, oh, that's all the stuff I dropped. I was like, look, somebody dropped a bunch of stuff here. It was me. So, I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be on the next floor that all this stuff is. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. Let's take us a quick bathroom break, and I'll be right back. Another thing that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with anything, but a reason I believe this game to be good is that a buddy of mine that doesn't play MMOs got him to play it with me. I can't get my buddies that do play MMOs to play it with me, sons of bitches. But my buddy that doesn't play MMOs played it with me, and he enjoyed it. So, if that guy is able to play and enjoy it, you know, I think people that like MMOs would be able to play and enjoy it. But it's such a weird, fun game. It's got a lot of cool things going for it. All right. Just trying to figure out where. Let me just. Another cool thing you can do is you can slash wiki in this game like you can in Guild Wars 2. We'll slash wiki this quest. Okay, it just spawns randomly in the goblin loot chest. Okay, fair enough. So we just need to go around and keep clearing out these goblins and doing their loot chests. So we got this one at the top. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 more on this floor. See, like we have all these goblins that are respawned. I don't think there's anything this way. Then I get impatient. I just want to run through everything. Let's go and dismiss Tracy. Might have bitten off a little bit more than we could chew, fellas. Yep. And another good thing about this game too. Oh, cool thing. Look, check it out, man. There's so many cool things. When you die, you get death experience, and then that can level you up, make you better at necromancy. But also, when you die, you spawn at the start of the dungeon. What did I just drink? I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's on cooldown. That's why I'm like, I'm pretty sure. Oh, is that my potion? Yeah, I didn't realize I had that equipped. Oh, I thought I didn't unmute myself. But yeah, let's keep digging through. So pretty much we're just going to keep grinding this dungeon until we get lucky and get the drops we need. So coming this way, do to the right. That's where we just were. Oh, there's one, looks like, right through here. We'll pull that lever again. There's a mystery. Hidden entry point or something here. Yep. Now we're locked up. I'll open the skull lock. Oh, so you gotta get a specific key for that. And I'm assuming you do that, and then this gate will open, and you can go in there and you can get that chest. Stuff like that, it kind of gives me like old like Legend of Zelda vibes as well, which is really nice. It would be cool if they actually had like certain things that were like, which I could see them doing that, like having like getting something called like, I don't know, bombardier, or like what would you call somebody that blows shit up? Artillery or something like that. Something to where you make bombs and shit and use those to blow up certain spots in the walls and stuff like that. Like, that'd be cool. I could see them adding something like that, or just adding it to something like battle chemistry. Let's see. The best way to go here is going to be this way and then left. Yeah, that's where I died. Then we're going to take this first one here. Try not to start no shit with too many people this time. Tracy, beat him up. Yeah, like, I don't know what it is, man. This is like this weird sense of like enjoyment that you get, like little. It's like a little like drip of dopamine, like you. open up your inventory, and you're like, okay, let me do this and let me do that. Like, I can do these things because I've learned, I've progressed to be able to do them. I think the exclamation point just means that they're targeting you, maybe. No, because, oh, I guess the guy already was. Let's see if I can pull aggro off this guy and see if it does it. See, still a lot of stuff to learn in this game. No, I don't know. See what this looks like. I've never really seen one of these. Am I in combat? I don't feel like I am in combat. I think you're lying to me right now, game. I did equip it. Nope, not for me. I do wish you had a character screen, like your inventory. This one I haven't mentioned because I'm just so used to it with this game. Is your inventory is like your gear is in your inventory, and it has like an E on it and a red square if you have it equipped. So the first thing I would do, if I could add anything to this game, would be to add that. Is to add a character screen. Well, you do have it. As I said, I was like, wait, I think there is one. You do have it, but I wish it was out of your inventory and on your character. But I guess it's kind of more, but it's like one of those things where like it doesn't, like nobody's gonna be like, it's dumb that I'm wearing the gear instead of character. But this is dumb. It's in your bags and you're wearing it. How does that happen? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Let's see. So we're here. Gotta go down here. One thing I like about the Bard is like you have this. Oh shit! Tracy, no! One of the things I like about the Bard here is you can cast this AoE ability while also still attacking with other abilities. Oh no, I hit the heal Tracy ability instead of heal myself. But yeah, you can cast this AoE. As long as you don't move, you'll constantly be pumping out AoE damage, and then you can still play your other songs, cast your other abilities while doing it, which is really nice. God dang it, Tracy. See if we get lucky again. Nope. Oh, dude, like fucking, I'm streaming and all of a sudden these just want to come right back to me. We're just gonna rush through all this, man. I'm gonna deal with it. We'll see if we can. I can't keep just single-handedly just killing each of these bastards as we go. It's just too much time. Sounds like somebody's fighting around here though. Oh yeah, we got somebody in here. Is that what's happening? No, Goblin guards with some sort of buff on them. That's what Goblin he's at. We're almost at 27. Alright, so go here and to the left. Should be a chest here. He's blocking it. Got some legendary boots. Ooh, modified vulnerability to cold. That's gonna be good once I start getting into the Mountains, yeah. Let's go ahead and equip that. Hell yeah, dude. What an upgrade. Can I distill these yet? I haven't even checked. Nope. How those boots look? Not great. But you can dye stuff in this game too. That's another thing is I haven't invested in looking into how to dye things. But again, I mean that excites me that there's a whole nother system that I haven't even gotten into yet. That would be something that I'd want to do. So this one we're gonna go back out the way we came. Go. No, not go down there. All right, Tracy. Let's mess him up. Tracy dies really quick, but she does a shitload of damage, man. I tell you. One of the cool things too, like with keep binding, like as you see, I'm just like getting through doing the autopsy and stuff pretty quick. What it is I have it bound to one key, and it prioritizes certain things. So like if I hit 2, I would butcher them instead of skinning them, which these can't be skinned or butched. Butched, is that how you would say it? But it just allows you to kind of like go through things a little bit faster, which is nice. Yeah, I think I might end up being a battle chemist and a bard. But I was doing hand-to-hand when I first started, hand-to-hand and mentalism, which I was like, I don't want to do that because that's like basic starter stuff that you just learn on the island. Hold on 1 second, I got a buddy of mine trying to talk to him. Let's see what he's saying. He's been playing Valorant. And he's been getting like match MVP, team MVP like every game and just fucking losing all of them, man. That sucks. I really do think that those games, like they know you're going to play more if you lose. And so they put you on the wrong team. Monstrous Rage, level 4. Give that a try, see how that works out. Yeah, I kind of want to play other games, but like this is an MMO channel, man. I gotta play MMOs. All right, let's see. So we're going down in this goblin dungeon round. Let's see, we're here, so down here and to the right. Was it this right? I think it is this right. There's a lever I have to open, which is, this is cool, man. I like how this game works. So there's a lever, but it's up this way. So I gotta open this lever and run my ass back over here. Put a pin on the map. Give him Tracy. Damn, got another one. I think, you know, I play with a higher level people sometimes and they just aren't looting everything like I am, and there's probably a reason for it. Probably the one, they don't need anything from them, or two, they're like, it's just a waste of time when you're trying to just quickly get through these things. That's what I need to be doing. Oh no, we're gonna die here. Tracy against the world, I'll tell you what. Healer, healer. We did it, Tracy. Translate all this goblinese. Food bus about to run out. That's another thing too. I really like how they do the food in this game, where pretty much if you don't have food, then you don't regen stuff. So it's like a mix of like WoWs, while also everything's a food buff at the same time. So you pretty much always want to have food on a food buff going. Drop that. It just makes food more important and interesting. It's not just, oh, I'm out of combat healing myself. It's, you know, it gives you buffs as well as gives you regen, which is nice. And then you don't have to then stop constantly to do it either. So where's this switch at? There's the lever, okay. So we gotta go fast, because I don't know how long this will be open for. What a fun little dungeon. Fuck him up, Tracy. Alright, I made it in. Oh, we got a good drop. Ugh, Tracy about died. I wasn't paying attention. What you give me? Nothing. I really would like to get one of these items I need for this quest. Alright, so we've done that one, that one, that one. There's one more that we can do here. Oh, there's a, I was about to say we were trapped. There's a lever right here. So we'd have to go. It'd be better to go back from the start to get to this next one. But I also want to map out the whole dungeon, so let's just go down. Go down, I believe it's going to be on our left. It is fun, just like dungeon diving as well, like I'm doing in this game right now. The respawn, it just, you don't feel like you're progressing through it because like everything just respawns too much, but like it's kind of has to because it's public. So that's kind of like, I guess one of my biggest gripes about it, sort of. It's like a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Oh, Tracy's gonna die. Don't die, Tracy. We're both gonna die here. Tracy, don't die. No, she died. Hopefully I can survive this. Bit off a little more than I could chew again. Been there, brother. Yeah, we're dead as shit right now. Run! Tracy, god dang it, Tracy, why do you have to die on me like that? It's not her fault. It's a bad trainer, you know? You salt. Hell yeah. Also, alcohol tolerance is a thing too. I don't know what that's for. Written in both human and dwarf. What is this? I don't know what it's for. Alcohol tolerance. What I'm hoping is that there's cool buffs you can get later. If you have high alcohol tolerance, you can use them without getting hammered and it inebriating you and messing you up. See, I wonder too, like with this quest, would I have to come back to this dungeon constantly to do it? If I can't complete it right now. Really need a party. I wish they had a looking for group as well. I don't believe they do have anything like that. Oh, I never noticed this. Huh. So I could set up a... Shut up. I'm trying to check out these loadouts. Because at some point, I mean, that's nothing to do is like, it's like in RuneScape where like you can level everything up. Oh, that's a hole. That can be used multiple times. Okay. What does this give me? You drink a shot of hard liquor, it's not giving me anything. See, I go straight down. And I gotta open the blue and then the pink. So let's do the blue and then pink, yeah. Oh, I gotta get Tracy back. What am I doing? Survive. Survive. Hopefully we can get something on this next one so it doesn't feel like we're getting nowhere with this quest. Come on. Did Tracy just die? God dang, I was not paying attention. Sorry, Tracy. That's my fault, man. What's the ability? Yeah. So gonna be my next left is gonna be the blue one. Bards I just don't feel like are very strong. It could be my loadout as well. They just kind of do good, like, consistent damage. But it doesn't do, like, a lot of damage. Outside, like, one ability. But Tracy more than makes up for it. Right down here. No, is that right? Something's looking a little bit off, so I passed it. Tracy, get your ass in here. It's funny, like I use Tracy for all my damage, but I'm constantly forgetting to have her use her abilities. So the very last room down here, which I've already been into. Kill it, Tracy. Not in combat. Let's see if we made it in time. Nope. Is this something where I'm going to need 2 people to be able to do this? I think so. That does blow. First gate is open. Second gate is open. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Woo! Skin of my teeth. Tracy's locked out though. I'm gonna fight this by myself. Luckily, it's just a weak ass goblin. Translate this, drop this, translate, 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 and translate. What's at 29 we got these? Once I get 30. Is that at least an upgrade? Nah, I wouldn't say so. I don't need anything that I got from that. You know what? All I need to do is get the first one. No, that wouldn't work. All right. Well, I think I might just get out of here for now. Let's see. To the lower level. Let's just make it to the lower level. Then we're gonna take another PP break. Have the bladder of a much older man than I am. Just learn ability fast playing away minor misunderstandings causing the target to be less aggressive towards you. What is that ability for though? Let's just dismiss Tracy. We're just gonna go to the next level. Whoa. Oh, we're already on the next level. Yeah, that's when I actually cleared out a lot more. We'll log out, and when I get back from the bathroom, we'll go ahead and do that starting zone tier list. Which may be something I may try to do again, because we'll see how this goes. All right. We will be right back. All right. Where were we? Oh, I think I said I was going to do the tier list. Let's just do the tier list. I do want to finish this quest. Didn't even get one quest done. I was here streaming this game for an hour and a half. Haven't got one quest done. That's a hallmark of a good game. It is a good game. It's a great game. I love this game. It's my favorite game right now. Let's go ahead and get this tier list going. Let's see how... Where we at? Where we at? Dead air. All right. So here we are with the tier list. So what this tier list is going to be, and I talked about a little bit at the beginning here, is what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to take 3 different MMOs divided by the population number. So we got Classic WoW, we have Guild Wars 2, and we have Lord of the Rings Online. And the hope here, you know, I have my thoughts on these. I've built it, and I kind of like, but I've tried to leave my mind fresh to where I haven't went through and like kind of preemptively judged these. So I don't know where it's going to land. But the goal is to find out, does it having a bigger population mean it's better zones? And what's important about the starting zones is I made a video on MMO starting zones, and 2 of the ones that ended up being the number 1 and number 2 was Elwyn Forest in World of Warcraft and the Shire in Lord of the Rings. And so that was just on MMO zones altogether. And that was voted on by Reddit. I didn't even make the list. And so what that tells me is not only do we have nostalgia for these starting zones, but these starting zones are some of the most important, if not the most important, of the entire game, because that's going to cement you into the world and get you invested into it at the earliest point. So you need those zones to be good. So this is kind of like if you're looking at the best zones or the best way to get, you know, gauge a game, I think it's reasonable to say that it's going to be off the starting zone. So we have 3 different populations of 3 different MMOs to see if higher populations, more people playing it over time, means that it's necessarily the best. To help dispel the myth of MMO numbers needing to dispel the myth that higher population games equals better, because I don't think that's always true. I think something like it doesn't matter. We'll get into it. So let's go ahead and get started first. I don't have a specific order that I'm wanting to go with, but I'm going to try to bounce from different ones every single time. So we're going to start first with Durotar. Durotar, World of Warcraft, is actually the very first MMO zone that I ever did. I don't think I ever played an MMO before World of Warcraft. I think Durotar was my first one that I ever played, and a lot of people I think that it's not that great. Like I think Elwyn Forest had more time put into it, and Durotar was rushed, is what I've heard. I'm not sure how true that is. However, for me, I think Durotar, and everywhere that you go through, you start off in the Valley of Trials, which everything has their little mini starting zone within their starting zone. But you get to go to Sinjin Village. You go to Razor Hill. You go through the canyon area there. There's so much good stuff that you do, and so many different enemy types. You go into, what's it called? Northwatch Hold, and you go and you kill in the what are those called? The not Tears Fall. What are they called? It's Tierguard Sounds where it is. Belarus, Janus people, the Proud Moors. What is that? I can't even think. I can think of everything around it except it doesn't matter. You get to go kill those people. Theramore. No. Oh, I can't. Hold on. I gotta look this up. It's bugging me. The Human Naval Faction. What is the Human Naval Faction in Warcraft? That's gonna help. Coltyrus. Jesus. You go fight some Coltyrans there. Just a lot of cool stuff. I think it's a great aesthetic. I love like the canyony, deserty kind of looking area, and I don't feel like that's something you get a lot. You get some deserty areas, but you don't get a lot like this right here. So it's very unique in its art style. And then like going into Orgrimmar, I don't want to count the capital cities into this, but just in general, I think it's a very unique and interesting aesthetic that I don't think you really see too much in other games, aside from Warhammer, where World of Warcraft pretty much stole all of its aesthetics from. So for me personally, and now is the disclaimer here is that my list is not, you're not going to agree with my list, and that's fine. Argue with me in the comments about it, because this is going to be a video, so argue with me about it. I don't care. You're not going to like it. Good. Come tell me why I'm wrong, because I'm putting Durotar at an A. Now, this list will be adjusted as we go, or at the end of it. Right now, we're just going to put everywhere where my initial gut feeling says it should be. And to me, Durotar is an A. I think it's not the best, but it's a really good starting zone. Next one, we'll just go straight into Wayfarer Foothills, which is like a snowy region. Wayfarer Foothills is the starting zone of the Nords. In is it Nords? No, it's Norn. Nord is Elder Scrolls. The Norns in Guild Wars 2. And I think it's a great zone. One of the cool things about it is once you get out in, like, the starting area is really cool. It's like a foresty, like foothills kind of area, and it's very nice. And then you go into the more cold, snowy region once you kind of branch out of there, which I don't like as much. Snow zones, for whatever reason, I don't tend to like them that much. But this one is done very well, and it feels like a very big like landscape when you get out into it. And there's a lot of different stuff going on, a lot of cool quest lines, getting into like Norn lore. Just dynamic events in general just makes Guild Wars 2 zones feel that much better. Jumping puzzles, all kinds of extra things. I can't think of any specific jumping puzzles this one has, but just aesthetically and quest lines, there's one where you're catching, event quests where you're catching kegs that a guy's throwing out. There's a world boss here, which I think all of the starting zones that except for maybe Caledon Forest, I think a lot of the starting zones, but it's a good zone. It just really comes down to the game itself and the aesthetics of it, or whether you want to rank it high or low. For me right now, I'm gonna say Wayfarer Foothills is probably it's between a B and a C. I don't love it, but I don't, and the reason I'm even considering it into a C is because I don't think really anything's gonna hit a D here today, maybe one, and so I want to keep things spread out to be as specific as possible. For now, yeah, I'd say it's a B. So I'm gonna leave it in B for right now, and we'll see how we adjust it later on. So let's go into the first Lord of the Rings zone, which we'll do Breland. Now, Breland is the human starting zone. It's a big iconic area within Lord of the Rings, and that's one of the benefits that Lord of the Rings has. Is not only Lord of the Rings in general, the landscaping and the recreation of Tolkien's universe. It's the best version of Middle Earth that you can find anywhere. Period. Like, there's not a better version of it. And if you ever want to go and experience Breland, this is going to be the best way to do it. I love big, lush, green, foresty areas, and this is not very foresty, that has foresty areas. And one of the great things about it is just the landscape in general of their zones it's some of the best landscapes I've played in any MMO. The world itself, graphically, may not be the best, but the world itself is the best designed. It's the most fun and enjoyable to be in. And it's an open world. It's a true open world, unlike something like Guild Wars 2. But there's so much, and I've leveled through every single one of these zones, some of them multiple times. Breland, it's been a while since I've really dug into it, but there's so many different varied landscapes within this. You have swamp areas with midwater marshes. You have, I can't remember the forest area is called, but there's a forest area there. I believe you go into the old forest where Tom Bombadil is within Breland, and then you have Bree itself, which is like just an iconic city. There's so many good things about this area visually, as well as just lore-wise. There's so much deep stuff here to go and enjoy. And then the questing in here, I can't remember anything that's so great, but something about Lord of the Rings is you do get to feel like that adventure, just going out and helping people. That definitely comes through a lot with Lord of the Rings in general. And for me, I'm going to rate Bree an A. Thinking about it right now, it's hard. Like, I'm not gonna move one over the other right now, but I'm just trying to figure out whether I agree with this. But I think I like Bree more than I do Durotar, so I think A is fine. I'm happy with that right now. So let's go into another WoW one. let's do something that's going to be a bit controversial. Tearsfall Glades, hate it. Not a big fan of Tearsfall Glades. It's probably the least played zone that I have. I'm just not into the undeady zombie, sort of aesthetic that they have there. There's a lot of cool stuff, but it's just very boring. The quest lines, like you're just killing zombies as a zombie, and then you're killing humans, and it's just, I mean, you get into some, I think you get into some of the werewolves and Argyle stuff. It's just not that exciting for me, and the aesthetic, I don't care too much for it. So, it's, I honestly want to put it in a D tier, but I know a lot of people are going to get real mad about that because I know a lot of people love Tearsfall Glades. I know Undercity is a very cool and interesting city. The lore behind it all is great, but just playing it is just it's probably the second to most dull World of Warcraft starting zone for me in Classic WoW. I'll put it in a C right now, but this might be one that I may change as I'm going through here before I even get to the end of it. So, but Tearsfall Glades, it's fine. It's okay. Next, let's see. We'll do another Guild Wars 2. Let's do Plains of Ashford, which is, to me, it's the closest to Guild Wars 2's equivalent to Tearsfall Glades because you have a lot of ghosts and stuff like that. One of the things that Guild Wars 2 definitely does is like you have specific enemies in each zone, especially the starting zones. Like you get early on, like this is what this race's enemies are. Like for humans, it's bandits, and for Char, it's the Ghost of Ascalon. And I love the color and aesthetic of it all. It's like a plainsy, kind of like reminds you of Westfall, but then there's all this industrialization happening from the Char, which is kind of juxtaposed to it all. And then you got these like creepy kind of like not necessarily graveyards, but it's where all the ghosts and stuff are, where it gets a little bit gloomier and darker there. I think it's a good zone altogether. I think to me, honestly, if Wayfarer Foothills is a B, then Plains of Ashford has to be a B. It honestly makes me want to drop Wayfarer Foothills down one. I'm going to hold off on that. We'll just kind of recalibrate at the end. But Plains of Ashford, I've leveled through it a few times. It's been a while. I'm trying to think of anything that really stands out. I don't remember any necessarily great jumping puzzles or any... I don't have Matrika Province on here. Now that I'm kind of going over this, I probably should have Matrika Province over some of these, but because Matrika Province, I think, is a better zone as far as the things that you can do in it. But Plains of Ashford, aesthetically, it's great. I very, very much enjoy it. I enjoy the aesthetics of Plains of Ashford more than Wayfarer Foothills, but I think I enjoy the dynamic events and stuff that happens in Wayfarer Foothills more than Plains of Ashford. So Foothills, more fun. Plains of Ashford, better looking. But yeah, B. I don't think it's anything crazy. There's nothing, but I feel it's kind of like with a lot of their zones. I think it really comes down to whether you like the aesthetics of it or not. But yeah, so let's go into the next Lord of the Rings zone. Let's go ahead and do Swan Fleet. Get it out of the way. Swan Fleet is the newest zone. I've only kind of went through it. I'll be honest, this is the only one that I haven't fully completed. And just a little bit of time I spent there. So what Swan Fleet to me is a more, I guess, modern, streamlined version of a starting zone for Lord of the Rings. And they've done a really good job in it. The area, it looks really good. Like, it's a mix, like it has like a kind of like red rock kind of mountains and stuff like that. You can't really see it too much here. But it's like, it's great visually. I love the colors, just like the greens and like the orange and reds coming together. Again, Lord of the Rings landscapes are amazing. But like the initial like quest, it gets very simple questing like you'd have in WoW. Just go here, kill that, go here, kill that. But it felt better. It wasn't confusing. You knew what you were doing, and it was really easy to kind of navigate and go through the areas that I went through. And I would say, unless you want to go in and experience the Shire, or you want to go in and experience Bree or whatever zone it might be, Swan Fleet is going to be the best experience in Lord of the Rings starting out as a new player. It's going to be the most easiest, user experience that you're going to have, and I think that's exactly what it was built for. And it's a good zone. It's beautiful. It looks good, and I think it does a great job of what it's supposed to be. But at the same time, as far as like the depths of it, I don't know how much anything special is about it. I want to put it at an A right now, because I think it is definitely one of, if not the best zones in Lord of the Rings. I don't want to say the best, because it's just so hard to beat Bree or the Shire. But I feel like, gameplay wise, or, if you don't know anything about Lord of the Rings and you go into this, you're probably going to like Swanfleet more. But yeah, so I'm going to put it at an A for right now. And let's go and see the next World of Warcraft zone. We're going to do Dunmorrow, and I got to tell you, I spent a lot of time here. This is definitely going to be a C as well, but Cheers Fog Glades. It's whenever I said there's only one more zone that's more dull and boring than that, it's Dunmorrow. I love dwarves. Dwarves are my favorite sort of aesthetic within MMOs or RPGs in general. I just the Iron Forge is cool. Other than that, it's just you're just in the mountains fucking killing. It's just there's nothing exciting about it, nothing visually interesting. You're just in the mountain, and maybe that's why I don't like snowy regions in general, because at the end of the day, you're just in the mountains, and it's all white. It's just there's no visual diversity or anything like that. And I know that a lot of people out there are gonna hate this, and they love the mountainy regions. I don't care for them, and there's just nothing particularly that stands out about this zone that I can think of. Like, I know I've went through here. The biggest thing I can think of is there's a polar bear there named Bjorn. It's a mob that's what is the word for it? It's not an elite mob, but a rare mob that you can get as a hunter, and you can get a cool, unique polar bear early. I used to, whenever I play Horde, if I ever played a Horde hunter, I would always go here and try to tame this, because then I'm in the Horde leveling zones, and I have Bjorn, the polar bear, the only polar bear you can get at that level, which is always cool to have. So that's like the coolest, most interesting thing. You do have I don't know if Mechanome or Nomergon or Nomerangan, however you want to pronounce it. I think that might be in Dunmore. Is that true? Let's see, Nomergon Zone Classic WoW. Is that in? I think it is there. So that's definitely Nomergon's a cool ass dungeon. It's one that I didn't do enough, or I think really any whenever I was leveling in WoW before like later expansions and stuff. I probably didn't touch this till after Wrath of the Lich King, maybe. Yeah, it's in Dunmore, which is kind of crazy that they have a level 29-38 zone in this starting zone, but it's just, within the lore, it's really cool. So, I mean, that's definitely a big plus for them. Also, like, you have the certain gnome outpost, which kind of access kind of like similar to how the Char being in Plains of Ashford and being able to juxtapose the scenery by being this industrialization kind of thing. You have the similar sort of thing with like the steampunky kind of gnome mechanisms, whatever, with the gnome stuff that they have there, architecture and everything. So that's pretty good. But yeah, it's just, I mean, the most exciting thing I can think of right now is a bear that you can get early level, which is awesome, and Nomergon, which that's not even a starting zone thing. You just come back to there later for it. Iron Forge is cool, but we're not gonna try. I'm not gonna let that influence my decision on these. So far we have no S's, and let's go into Caledon Forest with Guild Wars 2. And like I said, I like foresty regions. Something about this, like, this is a forest. I mean, it's Caledon Forest, but for me, Caledon Forest, it's not, I like a dense forest, and it doesn't really feel that dense. It feels more like a segmented jungle, sort of. It's a very cool zone. It's definitely different than the others. It's not like I wouldn't call it like a foresty green feeling kind of zone, but it's like a bright, bioluminescent kind of zone, and it's very cool and interesting looking. It's unique. They have some jumping puzzles and stuff in there. It's definitely a fun zone. I think, right now, if you ask me, Wayfarer Foothills, Plains of Ashford, or Caledon Forest, which zone would you rather go? And this is kind of where like the gut feeling comes from. Which zone out of these would I want to play? I'm going to pick Caledon Forest over Wayfarer Foothills and Plains of Ashford. It's just Visually, it's more fun. What they're going against is less interesting, I feel like, as an enemy. They go against the Nightmare Court, which is just, it's kind of like humans going against bandits. They're going against the bad people version of the Sylvari there. But it's a fun zone. You know, I wish I did more of the personal story and had that fresher in my head or in my mind, because that would have fluids, you know, what makes these zones good and stuff too, I think, a little bit more. But Countdown Forest is fun. I've enjoyed the times that I've leveled through there. I would look forward to going here more, and it's probably just an aesthetic thing. Again, it's not like a dense forest, but it's a unique kind of foresty jungle area that I very much enjoy. So I'm happy putting that at an A for sure. Like, you know, do I want to play Durotar or do I want to play Caledon Forest? It's going to be a toss-up. I would rather play Caledon Forest. Yeah, so I think Caledon Forest fits at an A. I don't think that would be that controversial. Next we have another Lord of the Rings one. Let's go ahead and do the Shire now, because I've been saving the best for last, but it turns out that's kind of sort of what's happened, sort of. But yeah, so the Shire, it's obvious. Shire is going to be S tier, man. Shire is just the way the Shire makes you feel like a hobbit is great. Like, you just feel like carefree. You're delivering pies to people. You know, just, it's such a unique aesthetic that you only see in things that have been interpretations of the Shire. You know, you got the hobbit holes and everything. It's a lush green hill area. There's dense forests. That's one of the great things about Lord of the Rings zones in general, is it's so jam-packed with all kinds of different stuff, because the zones themselves feel vast and huge. The landscape is sprawling, like it's so hilly, and then you got this, it's like different zones within zones, and even some like in Breland, there's literally, the Old Forest is a zone within the zone. The Shire is one of the best experiences I've had. They have marshes there, they have denser forests like this. It's like almost like a Midwestern, like tall, like huge, thick trees, like in the back area of it. You get to go through a lot of iconic places. Just being able to go to Hobbiton and go why can't I think of what Bilbo's home was called? What did they call Bilbo's home? That makes me sad. I can't think of what that is. Bag Inn. Yeah, so you can go to Bag Inn and you see his relatives up there. What's her name? God, I'm blanking on everything, but his aunt or cousin or whoever who takes claim of it, they're up there sitting there, because in the storyline, Frodo and Bilbo have already left with the Fellowship. Bilbo's not with the Fellowship, but if you know the story, you know what I'm talking about. They've already left, and so they've already taken the Shire over, or Bag End over, going to just it's such a good zone. It's so much fun. You get to go to Farmer Maggot's farm, and you can do quests over there, and it's just, there's farmlands, and then there's lush hills, and it's such a good zone. It's so beautiful, and it feels very it's very immersive. And if you love the idea of what a hobbit life is in the Shire, you're not going to get anywhere better than this. And I think it's literally not only the starting zone of this game, it's the starting zone of what I would consider to be the beginning of all modern fantasy. The Shire is where it all began in Lord of the Rings, where it all began in The Hobbit. And then from that story, I think you extrapolate and you get to where we are now. And this is a great, accurate representation of what that feels like. And that, to me, makes it an S tier zone, because it gets the fantasy of everything you want when you think about fantasy. And it's still unique and interesting in a way that nothing else, even imitations, can't capture. It's a great zone. Best zone. I would go here. I have to make myself go to the other zones in Lord of the Rings, which are great as well, because I've already leveled here so many times. If anything I level, I go to the Shire to do it. I have to stop myself. So yes, I would absolutely go back and level in the Shire. Let's do Guild Wars 2 next. We're going to do Queensdale. And Queensdale, to me, is my favorite starting zone. It's very like basic bitch. You like the green areas. I like this the aesthetics of Queensdale, because it's not like, Elwyn Forest. It's not a big foresty area. It's kind of like the Shire, sort of, where it's just like a big open plainsy area. they have a lot of cool stuff, like having the windmill. Like you kind of see it here, like the windmill and the river system here. There's like an orchard and stuff. It's just like a lived in, like it's exactly what you would imagine in a fantasy, like medieval kind of fantasy area of the village and town area right outside of the big city, which is what this is exactly. And I think they nail it aesthetically. You have cool dungeon there. You have what's his name? What's that guy's name? It's in Beetle Run or Beetleton. Let's see, dungeon in. Oh, I forgot you got Ascalonian Catacombs and Plains of Ashford. I don't think Wayfarer Foothills has a dungeon. I don't think. Dungeon in Queensdale. Codicus's Manor, yeah, which he later on in the game becomes like a bigger villain, but it's just a big manor. It's a really cool dungeon to have. I'm trying to think if there's any jumping puzzles. I know there's got to be a jumping puzzle in here. Let's see. Jog my memory. Jumping puzzles in Queensdale. Demon Grub Pits. I don't necessarily remember that. There is jump puzzles there. I'm not gonna judge that because then that's me just judging off of what this is saying. But just visually, aesthetically, I think there's other zones that do things similarly, but I don't think any of them execute as well as what I think Queensdale does, as far as being like this. This like outside of the city. I don't know how to explain it. Like outside of the major city, it's like what I think about a medieval fantasy of like just the farmland area outside of it. And I think Queensdale does. It's like, again, it's kind of like the Shire, but imagine the Shire if there was a big, huge, sprawling city, and this was like at the foot of the city. Queensdale, yeah, definitely A tier. Queensdale, probably my favorite zone, the one I go to the most to level characters. And yeah, I just think it's a very good zone. I would probably, with the things up here, rather do Bree. I'd probably do Queensdale over Duratar. So we'll adjust that as we go. Let's take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Couldn't manage to get through this tier list without having to take a piss. I'm sorry. So we have Elwyn Forest and Erd Luwain first. I'm going to go ahead and do Erd Luwain. I've always called it Erd Luwain. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But this one is going to be the first D tier zone that we have. I hate it. I hate it for the similar reasons that I hate Dunmorrow, except it's just less enjoy. It's something that ruins this zone for me is something that makes the other zones so great. Is that, Bree, the Shire, it's these huge, expansive like landscapes that you have that are just feel so sprawling and great. You have that with Erd Luwain, but it's just all big snowy mountains and stuff like that. It's not fun. It's not. There's no variety. There's a little bit of variety there, and even like the mountain. And I hate to say it because I'm not shitting on Tolkien, because Tolkien's the best, man. He created everything, but at least the recreation of it, no matter how accurate it is, it's not as cool. The city here is not as cool as Ironforge, but we're not. I keep bringing up the cities, but we're not talking about the cities. But it's just nothing about it is even better than Dunmorrow. It's not as fun. It's like it's just huge and empty, and you're fighting a lot of other dwarves. It's just like it's a slog to get through, man. I just not a fan of it. Didn't enjoy it. I think I've leveled through it once for the sake of leveling through it, maybe twice, but it's not a zone I would want to go through again. And definitely out of the Lord of the Rings starting zones, it's the worst, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it earns the D tier. And honestly, if that was an F tier, if I added the F tier, I'd probably drop Dunmorrow. I'd probably drop Tearsfall Glade. I think I actually like Dunmorrow better than Tearsfall Glade after talking about a couple things that it has there, but that's just nostalgia talking. But I think it would drop down to the F tier for me. But we only got a D tier, so let's go ahead and do the last one. And you can definitely say save the best for last, because I mean, like I said, like the Shire, we'll go ahead and put it in S tier. We'll put it right here. The Shire, the Elwynn Forest, man, it's like how I was saying, Caledon Forest is, or not Caledon, Queensdale is kind of like the quintessential like farm village outside. I had to stop myself from saying Farmville. The farm village outside of the city. Like this is kind of like the foresty town settlement area. Like whenever I think of fantasy and where your beginnings come from within a fantasy world, like Elwynn Forest is like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 as to what I perfectly imagine. And I can say like it's definitely nostalgia for me as well, but it's not fully that, because Durotar was where I first started, and maybe that's why it grades so highly for me. But Elwynn Forest, like a mix of Elwynn Forest and Queensdale would be perfect, but it's not there. But Elwynn Forest is damn near perfect, and there's so much stuff going on and so much lore and story that starts here. Like you can tell this is the zone that they put the most time and effort into. Like the whole time you're going through there. I mean, I did a whole video going through the whole story. Like, it's like I know Elwynn Forest better than I know any of these. I'm not going to bog down too much with the details, but there's just so much happening here. You got the Defias and that storyline that goes on. You're constantly dealing with Cobalt. There's so many threats and things that you're having to combat while you're going through here. So just story-wise, it's great. Goldshire is, call it infamous or what, but like you think of the RP that's happened there, the erotic role playing that happens on Moonguard or any of these servers. There's just so much that happens in this zone has happened here. It's just so hard. It's just so iconic and it's so perfect. And like in the video that I had, it's the quintessential starting zone. Like this, I think, is the metric you go off of when creating a starting zone. I think there could be better. Like I said, it's like an 8 or 9 out of 10. It could be better. But I think this is the best starting zone that's ever been created in any MMO. And there's been a lot of MMOs, a lot of WoW clones where they tried to recreate it and they failed. That is the best. And so let's go through now. Yeah, Elwynn Forest S, 100%. Let's go through and try to adjust some of these a little bit. It's so hard. I think I'm going to leave Dunmorrow below Tearsfall Glades just because Tearsfall Glades is such a more unique aesthetic. Wayfarer Foothills, Plains of Ashford. I got to put Plains of Ashford ahead of Wayfarer Foothills. Caledon Forest, I think, would go above Durotar. Breland's going to go above Durotar. Breland, come on, get over there. Swanfleet. I'd rather go do Swanfleet, but that's not fair because I've just done Durotar so many times. Anytime I go to level through Durotar, I think I would have put Swanfleet ahead of it. I think it is a better zone. I need to go through and finish it, but I think at my core, I would say that's a better zone. Queensdale. See, I don't think it's better than Durotar. Is Caledon Forest better than Breland's? I would... Yes, that's right. Queensdale above Durotar. I want to put Queensdale above Swampfleet, but I don't want to put it above Durotar. It's really weird. So maybe I should do this. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, Queensdale's above Durotar, Swampfleet's above Durotar. I think that feels right. And then, yeah, Elwyn Forest above the Shire. As much as I love the Shire, like when I did best MMO zone of all time, I would have probably said the Shire. But Elwyn Forest is the best. So I think this is my final list. I'm pretty happy with this. I honestly wish, I said I could probably drop Durotar down to B. I think at this point I kind of have to. That pains me to say. But I mean, let's review now. Let's see who landed where. So we got high population Elwyn Forest as an S, the Shire low population as an S. So that right there goes ahead and shows you like the Shire is easily better than any of these Guild Wars 2 zones, better than Durotar, better than Tirisfal Glades, better than Dunmorrow, like easily. You look here, Breland made it up here, Swampfleet made it up here, Queensdale kind of so Guild Wars 2 zone. So like Elwyn Forest is really the only standout as far as World of Warcraft goes. And you can even see that in game because a lot of people would want to say, oh, you didn't have the Night Elf starting zone, Teldrassil, or I think it's Teldrassil. You didn't have the Night Elf starting zone. Well, guess what, man? If you played a Night Elf, there's a thing called the Wetlands run where everybody that are Night Elves, they run over to Elwyn Forest anyways. You start off in Dunmorrow. What you do is you get to level 5 or 6, and then you take your ass to Ironforge, you take the Deep Run Tram, and you take your ass to Elwyn Forest. Like, I'm trying to think, and Durotar, yeah, Tirisfal Glades, I think a lot of people would go to No, they wouldn't go to Durotar. I should have had. It's hard. I don't want to go back. I could only pick 2 zones from each of these ones. The Horde and Alliance. So, but anyways, yeah, Elwyn Forest is the best. I don't even think Teldrassil should have been on the list. I'm glad I didn't put it here. But anyway, so we got. Yeah, I think it is very telling. 2 of the WoW zones are in C. We got 1 Lord of the Rings low population in a D. Easily worst zone out of all these. And so it just seems like it's a lot of really has to come down to not necessarily the game, but a lot of what the zone is supposed to be. Because like WoW obviously can make a better snowy zone, which I agree 100% Dunmore is better than Air Luane. But then Guild Wars 2, I think their snowy zone is much more fun. And that a lot of that comes down to just the gameplay of it. And the aesthetics of it is better as well. So it just goes, in my mind, this is a personal opinion, is that it goes to show you that just because the game has higher populations doesn't mean it's going to be, at least zone-wise, going to be better. And I think for me personally, as a guy that loves exploring, like I'm an explorer type, you learn what Bartle types are from my last video, I am very much an explorer. The thing that drives me progression-wise is getting to the next zone and seeing what that is. And so I think another fun thing, what I plan on doing in the future is doing MMOs that have just single starting zones, something like RuneScape, Modern WoW with their Exiles Reach, stuff like that, or even like Project Gorgon. They have 1 single starting zone. And just the experience you kind of get through those. But I love an MMO that has multiple starting zones because I love leveling extra characters and stuff like that. And I think it's to me it's clear who. So let's pick the winners and losers. I think winner wise, we got these here: Caledon Forest, Queensdale, Swampfleet. I really think. But Lord of the Rings is way down here. I think the average of best zones is going to be Guild Wars 2, which that honestly surprised me. Because you got Caledon here, Queensdale here, Plains of Asher here, Wayfarer, Flint Hill. So A and B is those. They have nothing in C or D. WoW has Elwyn Forest. And is that it? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, Durotar's a B. Which, Mulgore maybe... See, a lot of people would say if Mulgore was here, it would have ranked higher. But no, it wouldn't have. Mulgore is like a beautiful version of Dunmorrow, where it's just open and empty. There's nothing going on there. There's nothing. It looks beautiful, and that would rank it up high. It wouldn't get a B. It would get a high C. It would be higher than Tirisfal Glades. That's it. So maybe that's it. But yeah, so I think, yeah. WoW, see, S, B, C. So I think on average it's definitely lower than Caledon Far, or lower, I would say, than Guild Wars 2, and then the Lord of the Rings, Shire, Bree, Swanfleet, and then Erd Luane dropped the average down by a lot. So I'd say Elwyn or Guild Wars 2 wins overall, and Lord of the Rings is second, and then WoW is last, despite having the best zone overall. And I think that, to me, that is telling. That is proof of, at least my opinion, that playing the most populated MMOs doesn't mean it's going to be the best one. I think there's a lot better options out there, and I think there's a perfect MMO out there for you. You just have to find it. And if you're following population numbers, you're going to be disappointed. And I think that's why we see a lot of people in things like MMORPG.com, or not MMO, what am I talking about? A lot of things like people in the subreddit for MMORPGs looking for MMOs and stuff and never being happy because, you know, I've had the feeling before where I want to play an MMO. I'm like, what's the point in playing this one? Nobody's playing it. But once you realize that, like, population numbers, it's not that they don't matter, but they're very misleading. If you go into a game like WoW with a server size of 3,500, and then you go into a game like Lord of the Rings, who has a peak of 2,000, is it really any different? Is your experience going to be that different? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I think you can find you a guild, you can find your community that's going to be more active than you would have had in World of Warcraft. And Classic WoW is pretty active community-wise, but definitely modern WoW not so much. So we're not going to really even... I shouldn't even brought that up, but I think all these games, especially something like Guild Wars 2, man, like, dude, you're gonna see more players playing Guild Wars 2 than you're gonna see playing any MMO. So I really think it's fair that Guild Wars 2 won this overall. I think you're going to have the best experience. The thing that Guild Wars 2 misses out is though the zones are great and enjoyable and fun, you never really, in my mind, feel that sense of lived in, like these areas feel like, oh, I was here doing quests and running around and meeting these NPCs and doing this thing. I couldn't tell you almost any name of any NPC in Guild Wars 2 because none of them matter. It's just, and that's the biggest. I think that's another video I'm going to do. Is the biggest problem with Guild Wars 2. The biggest thing that I have an issue with is that they don't have traditional questing. They fought too hard, and now it's baked into the system to be different than other MMOs. And I think for a lot of that was a good thing, but for a lot of it was at their own detriment. But this is my final list. Overall, I'm going to say that Guild Wars 2 won best starting zones, Lord of the Rings second, and despite having the best starting zone, bar none, World of Warcraft Classic came last. So thank you for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed it and continue to explore indoors. See ya. And then we just continue on the stream now, guys. You see how that works? But yeah, let's play us a little bit more Project Gorgon. Don't look at this. Don't look at that. What are you guys looking at? 2 hours and 22 minutes streaming to myself. Give me just a second. I'm gonna check the stream, see how it's looking. Thought I muted myself. Back in black. I hit my sack. Way too long. I'm glad to be back, and I'm foot loose from the news. Let's play some more Project Gorgon. Let's see if we can. I'm so glad I finally got the tier list done. I'm very excited about the outcome of it. You know, I had like, you know, it's hard not to like have preconceived notions of what certain things would land. But I didn't know collectively how everything would land. Look at them boots, man. What dumb looking boots. Is that what we should do? Should I give up on this goblin dungeon quest line? Well, I'm here. I might as well not. But if I get too bored of digging through this, I'm gonna fight. I hear stuff. If I get too bored of doing this, what's my desktop audio muted? Oh, because I muted it. Actually, let's turn this down a bit. If I get too bored of this, I may actually go and start trying to level up my dyeing so I can dye some of my gear pieces, get us some more. Because I need to get a new headpiece. I need to get me a... I got a new headpiece, but it'll fit for this gear set, but I like that chest piece that I got. Let's see. I like that chest piece, but I need to find boots that match it and everything. We'll get there. We'll get there, fellas. I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and keep the more up-armored look that I have. Let's see. One second. I'm getting a message from the most beautiful woman in the world. Coincidentally, that's my wife. What luck, am I right? Give me a second, guys. I know I just got back. We're going to BRB again for a second. I'll let you listen to this combat music while I wait. So, I have food on the way. I think I'm done with the regular stream that we were going to do. I kind of hit everything I was wanting to do today. Do want to finish this quest, but, you know. Maybe we can say that for another time. Nobody's really watching. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to... I think I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to start a new one. May play some Valorant with a buddy of mine. So, all that being said, I'd like to thank you guys all for watching RPGeo. Remember to explore indoors. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you again at a later date and time. See ya.